tutorial is going to walk you through how to make Google contact groups. This is so that you can put many people in the same list so that when you send a Gmail or when you create a Google Calendar invite and it's to the same group of people, you don't have to put them in individually. Instead, you can just enter the name of the label that you're going to give that group and it'll populate all of their addresses. The first place to go to is under the Google Apps waffle. And you click that and you'll find your contacts group. Now, your contacts might be down here. You might have to search for it by dragging down, but I suggest that you put the apps that you use frequently up near the top because, yeah, it's easier to find. So you're going to click the contact groups. This isn't necessarily intuitive because in the old version of Gmail, you could create your contact groups right inside Gmail. But once we realized, or Google realized, that contact groups can be used when sharing documents in Drive, when making calendar invites, that it just doesn't live in Gmail anymore. Your contact groups cross-populate across all those different Google apps. So this is what contacts page looks like. If you were to create a contact from scratch, you'd do that here, and you could create multiple contacts or one contact, and by clicking that, it would open up a place where you could insert people's names and their as much information as you want. The very least, a name and an email address. But we want to make a contact group. So in contacts, Google likes to call them labels. So a label, all these labels that you're seeing are groups that I've created. So essentially, people can belong to lots of different groups. So I can put a label on any one person, multiple labels, depending on how many different groups they're in. So to create a new one, you have to scroll down to the bottom of that, of where your labels live, and create a new label. And so you can name that. You have to name it. It'll show up alphabetically over there, and you save it. So now you've got a label, but there's nobody in it. And I can tell nobody's in it because it has nothing next to it. All these other groups have a number attached to them, and that's how many contacts are in there. So in order to add people, you have to search for them. So for example, I can see Jill right here alphabetically. And so she doesn't have a label. She's not in any of those other groups. You can have as many labels as you want, but you'll see I just clicked those three little dots right there, okay? And those three little dots are going to allow me to add her to any one of these groups. So if we're going to add to Lunch Bunch, I click it and then I X out anywhere and there it appears. So if I wanted to add Pat to the Lunch Bunch group, I search for her and I just did it by the beginning of her email. She loads. I go to those three little dots, which means more actions. There's lots of things I can do here, but I'm going to just give her that label for Lunch Bunch. Tag it there, click on her profile, and now she's in part of Lunch Bunch. And that's pretty much as easy as it is. So now when I am in Gmail, if I'm sending a calendar invite, instead of putting individual email addresses in, I can just do my label name and it'll auto-populate. So the only trick with this is you have to remember what your label names are. But you can always go back to your contacts and you can look for them. And if you don't like how you name something, because you can never remember it, you just find it over here. That little pencil is your edit, and you can title it whatever you want, and then save that, and it automatically just does its thing. And it's probably under the Amazing Lunch Bunch group is right there. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if there's any other tips that you'd like to find out about.